Hello, welcome. It's Sven Are and myself, Steve Yorkstone here. So we've just been chatting about facilitation as we do, and we talked about those kind of almost intangible moments in facilitation. Have you got an example, Sven Are?
Yeah, one that came to mind when we arranged a conference here in Tromsø back in 2018. And at the conference dinner, we had the main hall at the hotel, beautiful hotel set with people enjoying the first course. And suddenly out of nowhere, there started to come this noise. And in came one representative of our indigenous people, the Sami people, and he was yoiking, the kind of Sami singing. And he was yoiking the picture of the Arctic landscape, and the room felt dead silent, and you can observe people wondering what's happening, and wow, and you can feel this kind of sense of a shared story. Something was going on, something was happening. How do we create that moment of magic where you feel like we are one, all these 200 people here experience the same thing? How do you do that online?
I don't know if I could with a yoika in a room, because the context around just was a thing. And there's those moments that you can have when you've got that kind of physical post-it note that you can take down the wall and rip up and throw away. And there are these moments that feel very powerful that you can have in a facilitated session when you're face to face.
The question is that very different from an online situation or a physical situation? We still can't read people's minds, can we?
There is that thing that when we're in the room and that yoika comes in, the room does fall quiet, but is everybody in the room really in awe of this beautiful Arctic voice, or some of them just a little bit confused and surprised at what's going on? And maybe it's our subjective experience that we project onto that, which makes us remember it as that beautiful moment. And maybe it's then repeating that narrative which helps us form that kind of weird magical experience online. I mean, I still do think it was magical with that yogi came in the room, or that moment in the facilitated workshop, right? And I mean, surely we can't recreate all of those wonderful things online, Sven Are. How can we do this in practice?
That's the question. So if we accept the narrative that maybe this is more about my subjective feeling, that in that situation I felt that the whole room was at the same place psychologically that I was, but maybe it wasn't. How can we try to get a better understanding of that online? Is there something we do? Questions we can ask?
Sometimes I name my own subjective experience. I was in a very grown-up meeting the other day, and I said, I thought this was getting simpler, but it feels like it's getting more complicated now. Does anyone else feel that way? And I think that practice of naming, this is how I'm feeling right now, is anyone else feeling like that, often can unlock that in a group setting online and give people the ability to respond to that and realize that actually I am feeling that way, or give them permission to say, no, I'm feeling differently. It's a bit like this. And so I guess it's that creation of a space where we can acknowledge that we are going to have an emotional response to something. You know, we can't not, because that's kind of how we're built. And it's going to be an online, we're going to have those responses online as much as we would do face to face, positively and negatively, and trying to be actively aware of that and carefully naming it might help a group be able to use that subjective experience collectively to go through a better group process.
So that might just be a challenge from us to just try to do an experiment, try to do exactly that, name that feeling and open up the room and see what comes out. And in that way, we could share more easily the experience that we're having.
I think that's time for us.
Great.
Have a wonderful Easter, and we'll see you afterwards. Take care.
Bye.